Welcome to the Inside LBI podcast from Beach House Realty in Ship Bottom, New Jersey. I am your host, Mike Spark, joined by my co-host, Kevin Bergen. And today we have special co-guests, Gab Ward and Jackie Koppa.
First time ever, just so you know, you are a #1 premier co-guest. Welcome.
Yes.
Thank you.
From none other than the famous Shake Strain, a boutique experience where they will come to you and teach you about all things mixology.
All things alcohol.
All things alcohol. Thank you so much for having us. We're so grateful to be here today.
It's great to have you.
Well, I guess with all of the entrepreneurs we've had on this podcast, we have to know how and why did we start this service, this much needed service here on Long Beach Island?
Sure. We happened very organically, we like to say. We bartended together at Daddy-O last summer, mostly up on the rooftop, and Gab was approached to do a tequila tasting party. And she came in one day when I was working, and we sat down and got to chat about the menu and, you know, how we would want to organize it and what drinks we would make. And we just had so much fun brainstorming and creating the cocktails. And we were approached again for another party. And after we kind of had gone through with it a couple of times, we said, hey, let's turn this into something. We might really have something here.
Totally fell in love with the process of getting to expand our creativity and how we would run a cocktail class all of our own. The idea of using only fresh squeezed fruits, juices, you know, which, I mean, Daddy-O is known for some really amazing cocktails, and we had some great experiences together up there on that rooftop, you know, building drinks and in a quick, fast-paced environment. But more than anything, we just had fun, and we worked really well together from the jump. And I feel like with bartending, your partner either is there to lift you up and help you out, or like sometimes you guys aren't on the same page. And we learned pretty quickly that aside from just being friends, you know, outside of from behind the bar, we worked really well together. So,
which in itself is a good story because you're here just a couple of years as a local, right?
Yeah, brand new to the area.
And you've been here how long?
I've been here full time since 2015.
Okay, so great place to meet Daddy-O's, right? A lot of fun people there. Great clientele.
Definitely.
So did you think that this was going to become a business, or was like, at what point were you like, you know, what was your, I guess tell us about your first experience with a paid client.
So funny enough, our first experience, now we've kind of honed in on what we're doing. Our first experience was in Harvey Cedars with a group of, I think we had 5 women. We decided to do 5 cocktails. So we were there for a long time.
4 hours.
4 hours.
Quite the undertaking.
Everyone got hammered.
We should have done. We should have had you on first. Actually.
Yeah, exactly right. We didn't know what we were doing, but we got to, you know, again, play with our creativity and present a menu that was reflective of us and some recipes that we'd want to try and some flavors that we liked to throw together. And these women were like truly, you know, kind of like a trial run, but we had so much fun with that group.
And so it wasn't a total disaster.
Yeah.
No, they were so
it wasn't
supportive.
a disaster. Yeah, but we've since learned, okay, 5 might be too many. Let's partner people up. We'll do half cocktails. So we've been able to refine our business model over time. But those women were very supportive, and they kind of gave us the idea. And that was during a time where I was actually looking to move out to California for a little while.
And what was the timeline on this? How long ago?
So this was in October.
Okay. So a fairly new business that.
Yeah.
We hadn't even established an LLC at this point. Somebody had just come to us and asked us to do a class, and we said, hell yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it, yeah. We officially formed an LLC like end of November, but we like to say that we got our start probably end of February, early March.
And do you find that at that point in time that it was, you know, the right time to start this business? Because
yeah, we were gearing up. I was still in school at the time, so I was incredibly busy with that, but we knew that we wanted to be ready to go by the summer.
Right.
So we wanted to get everything started and kind of get all these kinks out of the way and really learn what we wanted to do and how we were going to present it by the time that summer rolled around so we could just go full steam ahead.
And how are people finding about your services?
We're very word of mouth driven right now and through social media. We're really, you know, as we go, we're learning the importance of social media.
How profound it can be.
I know, for real. And we always like to say that we're too old for that. We're too old for that.
Yeah, social media is not either of our cup of tea, but we've learned to really embrace it and, you know, have some fun with it.
Well, I know for one, I follow you guys, and it's great and refreshing seeing something out of the ordinary, you know, especially here on Long Beach Island.
Right. We're just trying to have fun with it now, too.
So how's business?
It's good.
Really good.
Yeah, better than we could have really imagined.
To the point where
Pause.
You're able to fit us into your schedule, which is fantastic. So thank you for doing that.
Busy enough that you guys were able to find us. I mean, that alone, I think, speaks to it a little bit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So are you doing these? So you're doing private cocktail events, but you're also hosting parties. I ran into you guys last weekend at the Yatri Bazaar, Sunday Bazaar.
Yeah, so we started specifically with the cocktail classes in mind, but naturally that kind of grew into, hey, can you come to our wedding? How about my dad's 50th birthday party? And so that kind of just grew into these private events that we love to do, and those are a ton of fun. And our whole thing on that is that we kind of will talk to the hosts and we'll find 3 to 4 signature cocktails that will pretty much appeal to most of your guests. We're still going to bring everything to cover: a vodka soda, a dirty martini, kind of those classic requests that you might get, but we come with all our fresh stuff, and we're really taking that load off of the hosts. Throwing a party is a lot of work. There's a lot of moving parts and things you have to put together. So we like to come in and just kind of relieve that from them, and make it a really memorable and fun evening.
And do you see that as a big part of your business, or is it more classes? What's the breakdown?
I think we anticipated it being mostly classes, but I would say at this point it's probably about a 50-50 split.
It's pretty close.
It's pretty close. And we fell more in love with the private events than we had thought. We were actually excited to use the cocktail classes as more of like a breath of fresh air. We've both been behind a bar for so long, working for other people. Let's jump in to do classes and make that our thing, make that what differentiates us from asking any bartender to come to your house and throw a party. But we found, and again, that it happened organically, to not just run an open bar in people's backyards for a party, to really merge the two ideas and talk with our hosts and say, okay, what spirits do you want at your party? What flavors do you like? What allergies might you have? So we develop these cocktails. So, in a backyard party, you may know that a bartender is going to be there. You're going in thinking, oh, I'll just have Tito's and clubs all night. And then there's a curated menu specifically for the party there in front of you. So
That you give out? You give out menu?
We have them, printed up on the bar.
Wow.
It's been fun using like graphic design for the first time.
Gab's.
I can't do social media, but I love messing around on Canva.
And there's something so magical about coming into these really intimate events. I got an opportunity to work a wedding last week, and I'm crying at the speeches, and I don't even know these people. There's something just so beautiful about getting to be in these like family celebrations, and getting to just play a role in it.
You're part of the party.
Exactly. And that's what people say. They say, please come, eat food, have fun. Like, we want you guys to be here and to enjoy yourselves. And, we just always say how lucky we are to be just a part of this community and be doing what we love every single day together. And just all around, it's just been a breath of fresh air. Like,
and you're making people happy.
Yeah.
Like really happy.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, like, from behind a bar, anyone can come sit at the bar. Usually people are in good spirits, but the classic joke, like, oh, as a bartender, you're someone's therapist. People come in when they're having a bad day, people hit it hard. Like, you never really know what you're going to get. But at parties, everyone's in good spirits, and everyone's there to have fun and mingle, and old family members getting to see one another, and friends getting together. And I mean, bringing friends and family together is, a huge reason we started. We always like to say that anyone can #BYOB, be your own bartender. All it takes is fresh ingredients, fine company, and a little curiosity.
Wow. And have
There's
you
your
had any
tagline.
problems with like Uncle Fred the drunker?
He's there once in a while, but
He's there. He shows
pops
up.
up
we've
here
been
and
behind the
there.
bar for many years. We know how to handle Uncle Fred. It's no big deal.
I guess before we jump into our live experience, you don't offer just alcoholic beverages, right? I mean, you do mocktails as well, right? Because there's been a major trend coming out of COVID for the mocktail following and true mixology. Can you kind of elaborate on what's been the calling in that regard for those that don't necessarily drink alcohol?
I mean, that's something we do want to dive into even more, and where we met with you this past weekend at Yatri. Well, so since we're in the state of New Jersey, we're a catering company. We do not carry a liquor license. That's why we cannot supply the booze. We take care of every single thing except for the liquor itself. We'll tell you exactly what to buy, brand recommendations, whatnot. But we take care of all the rest. So we get to have a lot of fun experimenting with all of the fresh juices that we do and all of the mixers that we have in stock. My whole upstairs right now looks like an aisle in Costco, like with the cups and the sodas and all of your, juicers and glassware and everything. So we do get to mess around a lot with the fresh ingredients themselves. And like I said, we're a catering company in New Jersey. We're not able to hand out alcohol. So ways that we can partner with local businesses would be by just providing the fruits, juices, and knowledge. People supplying their own liquor if they'd like. Like at Yachtree this past weekend, we were saying we were BYOB. I actually had my neighbors show up with a thermos full of tequila. So we're happy to incorporate that, but we cannot supply it. So mocktails are actually more of like an easier route for us to take.
Totally. Less red tape.
And they're so delicious.
And they're delicious.
You could throw something in there if you need to, but they stand alone very well, especially with the fresh everything. I mean, we have so much fun just pairing the flavors together.
Talking about starting this just recently in, February and now where we are here in August. I mean, this thing's exploded. And I guess the next question is where do you see this going?
Well, we approached this summer just kind of with the mindset, this is our practice hand, just like we're playing a game of cards, Yep. We're going to see how it goes and see what opportunities come our way. And it's taken us in a lot of different directions that we didn't really even foresee to come. We have a lot of different ideas of where this is going to go, but it really has had its own natural progression. And I think we're kind of both just, I don't want to say along for the ride because we do have a hand in it and we are in control of it, but we're also here to see kind of where it takes itself.
Are there other freelance bartenders on the island?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are they as organized as you are? Or are they?
There's some longstanding people that have been here for a long time and have really established a name for themselves. Our thing is the whole fresh aspect of everything. I think that's where we kind of set ourselves apart.
Again, a curated menu. So even if we're coming in just to work a backyard party, we have specialty cocktails that you can't go out and find in a bar.
Well, I mean, to go to a party as an attendee and say, wow, these people had their own 3 drinks. And you come away from that saying, I'm always going to have that from now on. That's going to be my drink or the family drink.
Yeah, that's the piece that's really cool. I mean, we've been fortunate at this point to have a lot of repeat business as well. And so when we come back for a second class or we come back for a party and people are all lit up telling us how they made this cocktail that we showed them for their friends and their family. I mean, again, like that's what this is about. It's about sharing that knowledge and that community with everybody.
Getting messages, a week after a party. Hey, how did you girls make that puree again? How do you girls make that syrup one more time? So people do take what we're teaching them and they roll with it.
And so what do you see as trends this summer? I mean, obviously the Aperol Spritz was
Spritz all over the board. Limoncello.
Yep.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 major.
Saint Germain.
Yeah, spritzes are big.
The Hugo Spritz was a big one.
I would say tequila.
Yeah.
Tequila's always a summer drink. That's why we brought it with us today.
And now with these signature cocktails, are you coming up with these signature names too?
We do, yeah.
So what are some of those names?
Oh man.
Oh gosh.
We try to get creative. A lot of, cocktail names are kind of punny.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we tailor them to the people that we're working with. We did a Mother's Day gig that we loved, and we have this little spin on a Tom Collins, and so now we only refer to that one as the Mom Collins, but we've named it a ton of different things and kind of workshopped it in a few different ways.
Totally. And we've done a few parties before too where, sometimes like you're just so mentally drained and the creativity in just naming the cocktail is just not there. So we'll go into the party and we'll be like, we decided that you guys should name this drink. And then, collectively the group of 10 people are, I think it should be this, I think it should be that. And we let them have fun with that part too.
That's pretty cool, yeah.
Not that it's a cop-out or anything. But
No, but being able to name your own cocktail is
Half
kind of like
the
signature
fun.
part of the gig, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a ton of fun.
Well, I guess leave that up to the host too, or hostess to decide what you do on that regard, right? If not, we'll supply for you.
Right.
Yeah.
That's smart.
Name your own cocktail.
And a lot of times too, like we have a party coming up. She actually sent us a message this morning that was like, here's my daughter's name. It's my son's anniversary the next day. We love all things LBI. We live here. So she very specifically gave us ideas for cocktail names.
And then you're like, ChatGPT, make a cocktail name out of these
No,
4
we
things.
love this part though. That's actually the piece that we really enjoy is getting to sit down together and take all this information that people are throwing at us, and then we get to be creative and say, let's do this, let's apply that, let's make sure to stay away from this. And I think that's what really keeps us motivated and moving forward, because every time we make a new cocktail and it lands and everybody just, their eyes roll in the back of their head because it's so delicious, like that's what we're living for right now.
Do you see business going into the fall and winter?
Definitely. We already have quite a few gigs booked up. It's definitely going to be more local and a lot quieter than it is right now, but we're okay with that.
And I think this is when we get to focus on partnering with some other local businesses like we did with Yachtree and focusing on mocktails or BYOB events.
Totally.
You
guys were a hit there. Yeah.
It was so much
a lot of
fun.
It was jumping.
It
Music was
fun.
vibing.
Oh, it was such a great day. And it's really been amazing to see since the course of me living down here full time, especially in this like post-COVID world. So many people are down here more full time, more year round. So that's been a fun observation to make. And I think we're going to really play this off season with how we can tap more into keeping the locals engaged and keeping people coming down visiting the island.
Totally. Ultimately, that's the goal, right?
What type of lead time do we need to get you to our party?
It's a little bit of everything,
Yeah.
you know. We actually booked a wedding before we even had our LLC. So we've had a wedding booked that's coming up next month, probably since last September. So that was a year long. But then,
Oh, wow.
you know, sometimes you have these renters who come down. You know, most people are Saturday to Saturday. They find out about us on Monday. They say, hey, can you do anything Wednesday, Thursday this week? Yep, see you Thursday, you know.
Okay.
So it depends. We like to keep the back end of our week and all of our weekends free so that we can accommodate some last minute parties.
And
Awesome.
right now it's just the two of you?
Just the two of us for the most part.
Yeah, we have a little
do have
help.
some help. Yeah, we've had some friends come over and help us juice oranges, and then we've had some friends who, you know, for events where either myself or Jackie can't fully be present, we have an extra set of hands. So we have, you know, 2 or 3 friends that we lean on, and they're people that we love and trust and support our vision.
Are we going to franchise the concept or?
Maybe one day.
Better get on it.
Yeah, right.
By the time this
Should we patent
debuts.
this?
Yeah, at least trademark it. Well, I guess all this talk of drinks, and I know
I'm thirsty.
It's only like 11 o'clock, you know, here, Eastern Standard
That's
Time.
perfect time for tequila.
But why don't we go through a drink demonstration? And obviously this will be easy for those watching on YouTube, but for those listening on Apple Podcast or Spotify, we're going to have Gab narrate as we procure. And what are we procuring here this evening?
So we are procuring a cocktail. Again, we try to really tailor everything towards our party hosts and their specific preferences.
Yep.
We try not to overlap as much as possible, but this is a cocktail that we've messed around a little bit. We have a couple variations, but this is what we like to call our Smoky Basil Paloma. And maybe you guys can help us figure out a cocktail name.
Okay.
A more specific name. So a Paloma is typically, it's a tequila cocktail with fresh lime juice and grapefruit soda. So we are going to keep the basics of the cocktail by using tequila. We're also going to throw in mezcal. Mezcal is basically a smoked tequila. We like to say that it's like the scotch of tequila. Mezcal has, it's a blend of different agaves, whereas tequila is 100% blue agave. Mezcal can be a blend of agaves, and all of the piñas, which are the hearts of the agave plants, are roasted underground in these clay ovens lined with lava stone. So it picks up all of these peaty, earthy flavors and a smokiness to it. So it's a really nice spirit on its own. If you're into that smoky flavor, if you are a Scotch drinker, you'd probably be a mezcal drinker as well. But we like to cut the harshness of the smoke in this cocktail, and for the masses that we, bring this cocktail to by using a regular Blanco tequila as well. And then we have fresh squeezed lime juice, fresh squeezed grapefruit juice. Again, these were whole limes and whole grapefruits less than an hour ago. And we're gonna use a homemade basil simple syrup in this one to combat the citrus and the smoke. And we have a tahine rimmed glass.
Incredible.
And what is tahine?
Tahine is a chipotle lime salt. It's pre-made. We do sometimes like to make our own using, spices and flaky sea salt.
I've always thought it was called Tajin.
Yeah, it's spelled like that. Tajin, right?
Yeah.
Tahine.
The Tajin and
Tahine.
jicama apparently makes a great snack. You know?
It is. It's delicious. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It's good
Right?
on top of watermelon as well.
Tahine.
Yeah.
Tahine.
It's used a lot as like a rub too.
Yep.
You
Yep.
can-
Well, let's get up close and personal
Wow.
and see
Let's get
how
up
we
close and
construct
personal.
this delicious drink.
Just so you know, the camera person is the person who has a list of cocktails that I have never had. So when we go out, she says, "Okay, this is what we're going to have." So
Oh, I
you're going
love
to have to
that.
remember this tequila, smoky, scotchy tequila thing, which sounds totally up my alley.
We love that. There's always a little mixologist in every group. And when we do parties, we point them out real quick. We're like, oh, you know what you're talking about.
Well, hey, we're all just trying to learn here.
Absolutely.
We're all just trying to learn.
That's the whole point. So we always like to say when you're building a cocktail, you're going to start with your least expensive ingredients first. This is especially helpful when you're working in a bar setting. If you were to start with your tequila and then, oops, you messed something up, you're not dumping 2 ounces of tequila down the drain. So we're going to start with 2 ounces of our half an ounce of our house-made basil simple syrup. We're going to meet that with half an ounce of this fresh squeezed lime juice. Again, all of our fruits are fresh squeezed. All of our simple syrups are homemade. Simple syrup is usually equal parts water and sugar. And then you can add an infusion, so we added basil to ours. We're going to go in with 1 full ounce of fresh grapefruit juice on this one. And then time for our booze.
Time for our booze.
Again, we like to balance the smokiness with the mezcal with our standard Blanco tequila. So we're only going to do, nice sound effect.
Yeah, why don't you turn that microphone towards the cup? I
That
mean,
was nice, Jack.
geez, that sounds great.
So we're only going to do half an ounce of mezcal. We're just making an ounce and a half total cocktail today. So half ounce of the mezcal.
A lot of people are really afraid of mezcal. It's not like a traditional flavor that you get everywhere that you go. And so this is a really approachable way to kind of digest something new. We love to introduce people to new concepts and in a way that they're hopefully going to be able to move forward with it.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, we're bringing approachability to things that
And
seem
education,
a little hard.
education.
There it is again. We're going to do a full ounce of our regular tequila. So you're just going to get the hint of the smoky flavor in this one.
I don't know if I've ever made a cocktail sitting down before.
I know, it's funny. We always gather
experience.
people around like a kitchen island or just a nice little meeting place, but we always have them stand up. It's so much easier to build a cocktail standing. So we're going to throw some ice in our shaker.
You always put the ice in last because you don't want to over dilute it.
No over dilution here.
They come with all the tricks today. And I also didn't realize that making a cocktail would be such an audio experience.
Oh,
listen to that,
there it is
sure.
again.
God, she's good, man. She's good. This is awesome.
Fantastic. And since when we usually do cocktail classes, we partner people up and we have them build one cocktail that usually requires between an ounce and a half to 2 ounces of liquor itself. We have them build one cocktail together, teamwork, and then you shake it and you strain it between 2 glasses. So it's one cocktail split between a pair.
You gotta
Again,
shake
that's something
it,
we've
gotta
learned.
strain it.
Yeah, we've learned as we go. Maybe 5 cocktails is not the move. It happens.
There we go.
It does happen.
There it is.
Maybe sitting down.
Sorry, we've actually never done this before. We've never made a cocktail before.
Sitting down, you haven't. We'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
Too funny. And we're always going to strain our cocktail over fresh ice. Again, this makes it easier for when you're a partnership. You're straining your cocktail between 2 people.
Okay.
Easier than dumping. We always like to say, be nice to your partner. Equal halves. And there you have it.
All right, who wants to be our taste tester?
Mr. Bergen?
Jackie's pants.
Oh.
Yeah. We'll hand it over.
Pass this
We'll
over
let
to
Mr.
Mike.
Bergen get the inaugural.
Whoop, coming up and around. That's our
and
smoky
around.
basil.
What's the
smell it.
likely? What's the
Smells
likelihood that I won't drink it in one fell swoop?
I don't know. Walk us through it.
Again, be nice to your partner. Mike's thirsty.
Kevin is taking the sip, trying it out.
Good night, nurse.
Oh, boy.
Wow, this is awesome.
Are you just saying that?
Cheers.
No, I'm not just saying this.
What are you experiencing right now?
Yeah, tell us about it.
What's going on?
He goes back for a second sip.
You have to.
It definitely, you can definitely take it, Michael. You can definitely taste the smokiness, and it's as a Scotch drinker, right?
I mean, that's pretty lethal. I think I could make a night out of that pretty
It's pretty lethal.
easily.
It's pretty lethal, yeah. And the
Nice sipper.
it is a good sipper, yeah. It is totally a good sipper.
And the tahine, man,
It's nice, right?
it ties it all together.
What's in the tahini again?
It's a chipotle lime salt.
Chipotle lime. Sort of not really on my radar screen.
Oh,
but
it should.
But it will be.
it
in the
will be,
future.
yeah, it will be. So will this drink.
Check
so
it out in the spice
hopefully Caitlin wrote down the ingredients so we can
We'll send it to you.
duplicate.
It'll be posted.
Oh, that's right.
Right here.
Right here. We could watch it.
Well, this has been an absolute wonderful experience and far exceeded our expectations.
Yeah, we didn't think we were getting served.
Yeah. This
We
is-
always come prepared. Come on.
So last but not least, where can we find you? How do we get in touch with you?
Social media, Instagram and Facebook, we're pretty active. We're getting more and more active. And we also have a website that we're in the middle of building right now. But by the time you see this, you can check us out at what is most likely www.shakeandstrainlbi.com.
All right.
Could be something slightly different.
Some variation of that.
Slow growth, right?
Throw it in the notes.
Well, we'll be sure.
Throw it in the show notes.
It's all happening so quickly.
It's all happening right before our eyes.
Well, Kevin, where will we see them?
Well, we'll see you on the beach for sure.
sure.
And we'll see you at a party someday soon.
Absolutely.
And hopefully
You're
one of our-
hosting?
Hopefully one of ours.
Hopefully one of ours. Thank you very much. What a pleasure. What a great service. Just another couple of people who are knocking out of the park in LBI with their businesses. Good luck.
you.
Yeah.
Thank
Good luck.
you. Thank you
As
so
they
much
say-
for having
Continued
us.
success.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you, boys.